Now let us discuss about the parliamentary procedures. Some formalities which the legislators have to observe in the parliament as well as in the state legislatures are called parliamentary procedures. Some of them are as follows. First one, session. The president summons each house of the parliament. So the parliament session or the meeting gets started by the inauguration speech of the president, and each house shall meet at least twice a year, and the interval between two consecutive sessions shall be less than 6 months. So both the houses, that means Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, they have to at least meet in the parliament twice in a year. In the interval between, we'll call the 6 month. So normally there are three sessions in a year. There are budget session, February, May, the monsoon session, July, August, and the winter session, November, December. So in this session, the parliament members, they come and discuss about the money matter, which we call it as a budget, and here the monsoon session, and also we have the winter session. So the parliament session gets started by the inauguration speech of or the welcome speech of the president, and also the parliament session gets end or get finished by the thanksgiving speech of the president. Now, quorum. Quorum means the minimum number of members required to be present in order to enable the house to transact its business. So quorum means to continue the meeting of the, we call the parliament, at least the minimum number should be required, though the requirement is more. But if in the parliament only 10 or 20 members are there, then also the session begins or that continues all through the day. So the quorum of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha is 1/10. So the total number of 1/10 should be present in the parliament to continue the discussion or the meeting for both the houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. This means that the house cannot conduct its proceedings and pass bill and resolutions without the presence of at least 1/10 of its total members. So to discuss about the different matters in the parliament, at least the 1/10 members should be present in the house of the total member. Like let us say there are in the Lok Sabha almost 552 members are there, Lok Sabha members are there. So the 1/10 of it should be present in the parliament for discussing and for proceeding of the meeting. The speaker may adjourn the house or suspend the meeting until there is a requisite quorum. So quorum means the speaker will cancel the meeting if even the minimum number of the Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha is lacking or is not present. So in this case, Speaker of the House, Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha, they may cancel the meeting for a particular day because even the minimum number is not present in the house. Now question hour. The first hour or every working day of the Lok Sabha is reserved for the question unless otherwise decided by the speaker. So question hour means in this question hour the parliament members they can ask questions to the ruling party members, and they can discuss about the certain things which are not clear in the previous day's discussion. So the first hour of the session is kept for the asking questions to the ruling party or to the ministers. This hour which usually starts at 11 a.m. So the question hour is actually that is kept in the 11th a.m. or 11th a.m. is known as the question hour. It is intended to keep the functioning of the government open to scrutiny, clearing the issues and the asking questions to the member of the house. A member of the house may ask questions from the government or a matter of public interest. The right of the member to ask questions from the government is known as interpellation. So the asking question to the ruling party member is also known as the interpellation. So dear students, today we will discuss up to this point, and in the next video we will go to the other topic. Thank you. Good morning dear class 10 students. Dear students, let us continue the civics first chapter, that is the Union Parliament, and today we will discuss about disqualification of membership for the Lok Sabha or the Parliament. So in what cases the member of the Parliament can be disqualified? So first one here we have, if any member of the Parliament holds any office or profit under the government. That means if a Parliament members, after having the membership, still he maintains or still he have any other government job, then he will be disqualified from the Lok Sabha. So at a time he cannot have two different jobs. So that's why it is said that he could be disqualified if after becoming the member of the Lok Sabha also he is having any government job. So that is the first point. Number two, if he is of unsound mind and stands so declared by a competent court, and if a Lok Sabha member is handicapped, physically not well, then the competent court also declared about that particular Lok Sabha member that he is handicapped, then in that case also the particular Lok Sabha member has to be disqualified or to be removed. Now number three, if he is an undischarged insolvent, that means if a Lok Sabha member has taken a loan from any company or any bank and still he has not able to return the full amount of that loan, then in that case also he cannot be anymore the member of Lok Sabha. So that is the third number. 4 number, if he is not a citizen of India or has voluntarily acquired citizens of a country, uh, foreign state, or under an acknowledgement of allegiance or adherences to foreign power. So the person who doesn't belong to the particular country, or he may be a foreigner, let us say he may be a foreigner, then in this case also he cannot be accepted as a member of the Lok Sabha. Number 5, if he is so disqualified by or under any law made by parliament, and also if he doesn't fulfill any law and order of the parliament, then also there in the parliament that person will be not having anymore the membership of the Lok Sabha. So he has to obey the law and order of the parliament, and if he is found that he is not fit by the law of the parliament, then he will be removed without any questioning. If any questions arises as to whether a member of either house of parliament has become subject to any of the above disqualifications, the president's decision in the accordance with the opinion of the election commission shall be final. So the removal of the particular parliament member or a Lok Sabha member will be decided by the president and the election commission. A penalty of 500 per day may be imposed upon a person who sits or votes in either house of the parliament knowing that he is not qualified. And if a person who though has been disqualified from the parliament, even he is there and he votes in favor or in against of the parliament membership election, then he will be given the penalty of 500 rupees. So these are the certain we would call the disqualifications points. Now let us talk about the vacation of seats. So the parliament member, how he vacates the seat, what are the criterias? The seats of the member of the either house of the parliament becomes vacant in the following situation. So a parliament member leaves the membership of the we would call the Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha on the following conditions. Number 1, if a member resigns his seat by writing to the speaker or the chairman as the case may be. So the particular Lok Sabha member or a Rajya Sabha member can leave the membership from any house by writing a simple resignation letter to the speaker or the chairman. Number 2, if a member is without permission of the house absence from all meeting for a period of 60 days, and if a particular parliament member he doesn't attend any meeting up to the 60 days till the 60 days, then also there is a provision for telling him to vacate the seats or empty the seats. In computing the said period, no account is taken of any period during which the house is prorogued or adjourned for more than 4 consecutive days, not consecutive days. Number 3, if a member becomes subject to any of the disqualification laid down in the constitution or an act of parliament. And also, if the person has been disqualified with the certain reasons from the parliament, then also his place gets vacate or becomes empty. Number 4, if a person is already a member of the state legislature and is elected to the parliament, he has to vacate his seats in the state legislature or vice versa. So, if a parliament member who is already the member of the state legislature, then he cannot go for the election of the parliament. Then if such types of persons are found that he is being a state legislature member, wants to be elected for the parliament, then also he has to vacate his seats in the state legislature. So he has to either be the member of the state legislature or the member of the parliament. So he has to choose any one, or we call the house, either state legislature or the parliament. Number 5, if a person is disqualified from being a member on ground of defection under the anti-defection law, according to the anti-defection law, when a member of a house gives up the membership of his party or votes against the direction given by the party to which he belongs, he shall be disqualified from being a member of house, provided there is not a split in party with at least 1/3 of its members. So, if any particular political member who leaves his own political party and he goes to the another party, and if he does these all things without informing or without giving prior notice to the particular party which he belongs, and he joins the new party, then also his membership from the parliament does not remain or does not exist. He loses his own membership from the parliament or the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha. Dear students, we will continue in the another video, the parliamentary procedure.